Kessoku Band album review. This is the album for the Bocchi the Rock anime, where the characters form a band. This is supposed to be an album by them. It was released on Christmas 2022, and every single weeb has been foaming at the mouth over this for weeks. And the first song is the anime opening Seishun Complex. And you know what? It's pretty good. It is a mathy kind of sound, and has the great soaring chorus that you really need in an anime opening. You'd expect this to play it safe, but it sets a great chaotic tone for the rest of the album, with every instrument going in a different direction, and yet it still works out really well. I don't like that they're using the extremely overplayed J-rock trope of having the third chorus just be the first two, but with a key change. But it's still a great song. I get the hype behind this, and it goes crazy, even if it is Yoasobi core. That's what I'm calling that. Next song is Hitori Bocchi Tokyo, and it honestly just sounds like an inferior version of the first song. 2 tracks in, and we're already getting songs that sound identical. There's a lot less instrumental chaos throughout the verses, which helps it feel more streamlined, but it also sounds bland because of that. I like the drums on this track, but I'm supposed to believe that a 14-year-old girl is playing them, so it does not work at all. The chorus doesn't really stand out from the verses at all, and even the instrumental bit after the second one is worse than the one on the first song, which has pretty much the same song structure that this one has. I don't know why I would ever come back and listen to this one when I could just listen to Seishun Complex, but it's fine, I guess. Distortion is the third song, and it's written by the Canaboon guy, so that's fun. This was used as the ending theme to the anime for a few episodes, and it's a pretty solid song, with a stupidly catchy chorus that comes right out of the Canaboon playbook. That guy is just ridiculous when it comes to writing really catchy hooks. It's actually unfair. The breakdown every song has after the second chorus actually feels cool on this one, with the clapping being a really nice touch. It's more of the same from the first couple tracks, but it's solidly written and it gets me pumped, so it's fine by me. Track 4, Secret Base, sounds very similar to track 2, which is wild because they're written by different people. This is where we start to get to a big problem with this album, which is that there are so many songs here that just sound identical to each other. Pretty much everything here has the same song structure, and it ends with like half the songs on the album feeling really tired, especially because there's 14 of them back to back. The chorus on this one is just generic and uninteresting, but at least they didn't do a key change on the third one. It's just really forgettable, and again, a worse version of Seishun Complex. Track 5, Guitar, Loneliness, and Blue Planet is pretty sick. The build-up is so hype with the ominous-sounding drums leading into a pretty solid chorus. I do prefer the verses just because they present a new sound for the record, which is something it desperately needs at this point, but it's pretty good overall. The melody is awesome, and the whole thing has a dark undertone that I'm just a sucker for. Good track. I Can't Sing a Love Song is next, and it's pretty solid. The instrumental of this song is great, with a more punk energy that really stands out from the other tracks on the record, and that I love. My biggest issue with this one is the vocals, though, which are repetitive and get pretty annoying on the chorus. At least it sounds like it was sung by a 14-year-old, so there's that, I guess. It's authentic. Track 7 is That Band, and this one I just don't like. The chorus vocals don't work for me at all, and they added this extra layer at parts of the chorus, but not others, that's really high-pitched and piercing and kinda hurts my ears. It sounds like ass. In general, the song is also mixed really weird, with vocals feeling like they drown out every other part of the song. It causes the song to never really make an impact, as my ears are full of bad singing the whole time. She just doesn't feel in tune with the instrumental at all, and it's not helped by her being so much louder than it. It really ruins the song. And yet again, it's just an inferior version of other songs already on the record. Karakara is the 8th song, and this one was written by Trico, so that's fun. I'm noted for not being the biggest fan of Trico, but this one's pretty solid. The singing is much improved on this one, especially on the chorus. The melody feels epic, and despite it having the same song structure and progression as virtually every other song on the album, it changes it up in the post-chorus sections enough to retain my interest. The build-up to the third chorus is also much improved from other songs. My only real complaint here is that the instrumental just doesn't feel like it keeps up with the great melodies that are going on here. But it still does enough to where I'm overall happy with the song. It's still way better than anything from the last Trico record. The Little C starts off a lot more relaxed than the other songs, with a very light instrumental before going back up into a more typical J-rock vibe. It lacks a lot of the energy of the other songs on the melody, but it makes up for that by not having the exact same structure and progression as the rest of them. I mean, it's a similar structure and progression, but it's not the exact same, so that really helps. The outro is really gentle as well, and it's a nice change of pace from the last 8 songs. I guess people didn't want that though, because it has the least plays out of any song on this album. Y'all really just want Seishun Complex 14 times, don't you? Track 10, What Is Wrong With, was written by a member of the Peggies, and it really sounds like it. It's got the fast vocals the Peggies love, along with a slightly melancholic and youthful instrumental. I do have an issue with the vocals here though, as they go really high-pitched and anime for a lot of this song, and it's just kind of annoying. It also just feels like the same minute 15-second song repeated 3 times with nothing else to it, but the instrumental and the melodies are pretty good, so it's still solid and decently enjoyable. Never Forget is the 11th song. If you're one of those people who just want Seishun Complex 14 times, you're gonna love this one. It is just Seishun Complex again. This album is 55 minutes long, and yet it feels like it has no variety whatsoever. The song is solid, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't stand out at all from the many previous songs that sound just like this. It's yet again just a worse version of Seishun Complex. The chorus is still good, but worse. The melody is still good, but worse. The drums and guitars are still good, but worse. Why would you listen to this over Seishun Complex? It's almost as if they read my mind, because If I Could Be a Constellation immediately brings some heavy funk touches to the album. It's some pretty generic weeb funk, but it's decent. My problem is, once again, the vocals. The chorus melody here just isn't very good and feels super played out, as it's really similar to a lot of other ones on the album. Instead of being sang over a hype rock song or something though, it's sung over a more laid-back funk song, and it doesn't work nearly as well. This whole song just feels kinda awkward and not thought out super well, and like a shitty Chili Beans song. The second to last song, Flashbacker, brings out some stop-start guitars and is similar to track 9, with a slower start and a more slow overall tempo to it. It's got some bittersweet melodic vocals that really help to bring out a sadder vibe as well. My issue with this song is that it's just kinda boring. The chorus doesn't really do too much to stand out, and the verses just kind of exist. This is a pretty forgettable song that it's easy to forget you're even listening to it at points. Like I did when I went to re-listen to it so I could write this review. I forgot it was on. The last song is Rock and Roll Morning Light Falls on You, a cover of the Asian Kung Fu Generation song of the same name. The show is very much inspired by that band, with the episode titles just being AKFG songs, and the names of all the characters just being the names of the AKFG members. This cover is just not as good. The original song is very bittersweet and is fantastic at nailing that sound while also sounding hype and motivating at the same time. This doesn't do either of those. The vocals don't work. The singing in this chorus, which is the most important part of the song, feels processed and emotionless. There's Vocaloid songs with more emotional singing than this. The instrumental also just feels kinda slapped together with no real thought given as to the original song or how to make it stand out from that in any way. This is just a weird choice in general for an AKFG cover song instead of something like Blue Train or Kimi to Yuhana or Atarashi Sakai, which is the closing track on the album this song is on. Those are all better songs than this. I don't know, it's just not the best cover. Overall, there's definitely some good stuff on this album, but it's just really repetitive. So many songs on here sound identical to other songs, most of them following the same template with the same structure and a really similar progression, and after 14 songs in 55 minutes, it just gets old. I really would have liked to see some more variety in the track list, as a lot of the songs towards the end of the album have their impact lessened by sounding identical to songs that came 30 minutes ago. I don't see a reason for me to come back to this one over an album like World, which sounds similar but has more energy and variety and just generally sounds better in every way. Heck, I think Rock and Roll Morning Light Falls on You is one of the lesser songs on that album, and the bocchi version is even worse. It's just not something I'd ever revisit as a full album experience. There's definitely individual tracks I'll come back to, but it's too samey as a full album. 7 out of 10, I guess. Like, it's fine. It's just bland and generic. Like, sub, comment. Please don't kill me because I don't like Bocchi the Rock. If it makes you feel any better, I gave the anime a 5 out of 10. Bye.